Okay, so I'm gonna try to experiment putting my microphone up here in the middle. It was sounding good. If it doesn't sound good, I'm gonna have to do this video over and over again. I don't want to do that. Hey everybody, my name is Mario Toa. Today I wanted to talk about something that has been interesting me since Wednesday of this week. Um, yeah, which would be as of the time of the recording, and hopefully publishing it. Like 3, 4 days ago. I'm really bad with math. I'm not bad with math. I'm just fucking. Anyways, so there's this show called Invincible. Right? It's an Amazon Prime. It's about Invincible and all these hero stuff. I'm a big comic book fan. It would take me hours if I really go in deep with that Invincible. But the latest episode, season 4, episode 5, my favorite scene in that episode was the scene where Debbie and Nolan talk for the first time since season 1. It was one of my most anticipated moments in the show, just simply because, you know, I'm interested, right? How would this happen? And I was afraid of how they were going to execute that. But my man, did they execute it beautifully. They did it really perfectly. Mwah. Not French kiss, chef's kiss. But as a as the dialogue was going on between Nolan and Debbie, I was thinking about something like if Debbie were to forgive him, right? What would it actually do for Nolan? I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but I don't think it benefits anybody but Debbie. And you could say, "Oh no, that's not true. It can trickle down." I thought about it. I was like, "Is forgiveness selfish?" And I'm still not 100% sure, but I feel like it is. I truly really feel like it is. The thing is like people always associate forgiveness with uh reparations. How do I explain that? So, say Nolan was forgiven by Debbie. Number one, when you forgive someone, it doesn't erase what happened in the past. So, it won't erase the millions, the thousands, or even a million that were killed by the hands of Nolan, right? If I got into a fight with my mom, let's just say, for example, I don't know why I chose my mom, or a friend of mine. I got into a fight with a friend, right? He said something wrong. I punched him. He punched me. We got separated. We didn't talk for a couple of days. He comes in, right? He owes me an apology, I think, because he started it. He said something about my mama, right? I have the choice whether to forgive him or not. I am not obligated to forgive him. By the way, you are not obligated to forgive anyone if you don't want to. So he comes and fights and asks for forgiveness. Let's say I forgive him. Does that erase all the fighting, all the punches he threw? Does it erase that a couple of days ago he just called my mama a whale or something that I don't like, that I don't F with? No, it doesn't. It doesn't erase the fact of what happened in the past. So, in that regard, forgiveness is quite usually useless. But if you forgive someone, you can get into a relationship back with them. And I say no. Again, say Debbie forgives Nolan. I'm gonna keep using that scene. It's beautiful. I'm gonna keep using that scene. Say Nolan was forgiven by Debbie. Do you genuinely believe that Debbie is gonna go back with Nolan? Because she already has Paul, right? She already is in love with Paul. Like, I'm gonna sell my house. By the way, making a baddie in Debbie selling her own house to move in with you. That's a baller move, Paul. But you make a chick sell her house. The chick is selling her house that she's been living there for years, right? Of course, the PTSD, the association with Nolan, is terrifying her and is eating her alive every single day. So it's not as nice as it was before. But still, like, I don't know how you can make someone sell their house. You're making this huge commitment with Paul. She's making this huge commitment with Paul. And you think Nolan all of a sudden, who has committed a let's call a spade, a genocide. He committed a genocide in Chicago. You expect her to go back with him when she has a man who actually loves her for who she is? When you have a man who you can guarantee is not gonna turn your on her. No, she's not. And it's the same thing with like my friend. If my friend comes and says, "Hey, I'm sorry," and I say, "I forgive you," and he's like, "So we're back buddies, huh?" I'm like, "No, I forgive you. I move past you, but I know your character. Now we know who you is. Now we know who you fucking talking like." Oh, I'm sorry for the neighbors. But the point is like, now I know your character. I don't want to be associated with you. Again, I'm going to leave it in the past. I forgive you. I'm not going to hold it on you. But I don't want to be associated with you. So forgiveness doesn't repair the relationship if, obviously, the forgiver doesn't want it. Then, I thought about it. I was like, okay, well, if you forgive someone, won't that just make the community between you two better? Right? If Debbie forgave Nolan, wouldn't that make Oliver feel better? Mark feel better? Paul feel better? Art feel better? And I think no. Because guess what? I'm going to tell you, like, I don't know how to tell the story without, like, snitching on people. But basically, something happened between two friends I loved. Okay? One friend clearly, like, was just talking bad stuff behind my other friend. Let's call good friend Larry, bad friend Jason. So Jason was talking about Gary mad crazy. Things happen, right? I forgot who was the bad and good guy. Jason's the good guy. No. Fuck it. So the good friend, right? The good friend, he comes and tells me, man, I didn't like that shit. Okay? I didn't like what he did, and I don't want to talk to him anymore. And I'm like, cool, I'm with you, right? And I don't like the bad friend because the bad friend, what he did to him, it was like, okay, maybe he did it to him and he didn't do it to me, but he could definitely do it to me. And I don't like motherfuckers that talk on behind people's back. Going on, a couple of weeks, they made, they were cool with each other, right? They were cool. They wanted to go and hang out again. And I was like, look, I respect it. I'm cool with it. But personally, I'm not. I'm not cool with the bad guy. Okay? And that's just me. Like, I'm not cool with it. Because what he did was really bad. I just can't say too much about it. But no, your community is not going to be inherently better because they have their own emotions, their own thoughts, their own logics, their own philosophies, and you can't control that. You can't tell someone, "Hey, I forgiven set person, so therefore, uh, so therefore, you should forgive them too." Or maybe you shouldn't forgive them at all because you weren't done wrong, but you should be cool with them. And I don't think that is the case. I don't think you're obligated to be cool with people, especially if they did really heinous and petty and whole shit. No. But yeah, that's my opinion on forgiveness. I believe it's very selfish. And it's a good selfish thing. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things. Just because something is selfish doesn't mean it's bad. I think it's good. And it can make you go on a whole different journey, you know. And there's a lot of benefits with forgiveness, and a lot of people do regret not forgiving other people, not because they wanted the relationship, but because it felt like a chain that they didn't know they were chained to. You know what I'm saying? So there's not a discouragement to not forgive. If you want to forgive, it is suggested to forgive, but you're not obligated to. And forgiveness will not benefit anyone but yourself, and you should always care about yourself. Okay? So, yeah, that's all I have to say. See you guys next video.